Good morning, everybody. We got fast-breaking developments from overnight early this morning now on Iran. President Trump is touting great progress. That's a quote now in the push for peace. As we learn, both sides are having a look at the possibility of a one-page deal. So good morning, everybody. We'll go through it together. It is midweek here, and we'll see what we get. I'm Bill Hemmer, live in New York City. Hello to you, dear.
Hello. Good morning. I'm Dana Perino, and this is America's Newsroom. So we're going to get to all of this. It's fast-moving. It's been a whirlwind 48 hours in the Middle East. The U.S. announced Project Freedom, an operation designed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and that led to resumed fighting in the key shipping lane. But the president has now put that mission on pause, citing renewed progress toward diplomacy.
So Axios has this as of 3 or 4 hours ago. The White House expects Iranian responses on several key issues in the next couple of days, maybe about 48 hours is what the reporting suggests. The president writing this on Truth Social earlier today. Here we go now. Quote, assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, which is perhaps a big assumption, the already legendary Epic Fury will be at an end, and the highly effective blockade will allow the Hormuz Strait to be open to all, including Iran. If they don't agree, the bombing starts, and it will be, sadly, at a much higher level and intensity than it was before, end quote.
Peter Doocy is at the White House, but first let's go to Trey Yings. He is reporting live from Tel Aviv. Hi, Trey.
Yeah, hey, Dana, good morning. Overnight, President Trump made a major announcement saying he is pausing Project Freedom to allow for negotiations with Iran to proceed. President Trump posting on Truth Social, quote, based on the request of Pakistan and other countries, the tremendous military success that we had during the campaign against the country of Iran, and additionally, the fact that great progress has been made toward a complete and final agreement with representatives of Iran, we have mutually agreed that while the blockade will remain in full force and effect, Project Freedom, the movement of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, will be paused for a short period of time to see whether or not the agreement can be finalized and signed. Now, Iran's ambassador to Pakistan responded to the announcement by mocking President Trump, posting on X, once beaten, twice shy. The U.S. military remains postured across the region should negotiations with Iran not yield the desired outcome. Yesterday from the White House, Secretary of State Marco Rubio described what the Trump administration prefers.
Operation Epic Fury is concluded. We achieved the objectives of that operation. I'm not going to, we're not cheering for an additional situation to occur. We would prefer the path of peace. What the president would prefer is a deal.
Reports indicate a one-page memorandum of understanding is close to being reached between the United States and Iran. Axios reports this would include a uranium enrichment moratorium, as well as the eventual opening of the Strait of Hormuz.
Other presidents should have done this. 47 years they've been toying with these stupid people. That's not the way we play. No, we do it the old-fashioned way. And they should wave. They're very proud. Maybe you won't see a white flag, but essentially that's already what they are. They should wave the white flag of surrender.
You heard the president there. They should wave the white flag of surrender. The region now waits to see if they will. Dana?
All right, Trey Yings, thank you so much.
Okay, from overseas now to the North Lawn at the White House. We follow the bouncing ball yet again. Peter Doocy, good morning to you. Where's that ball now?
Bill, President Trump just told the New York Post by phone that it's too soon to start planning to send negotiators to Pakistan for in-person peace talks. They just are not there yet. However, there are signs that President Trump's decision over the last couple of weeks to stop sending Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner to Pakistan for in-person talks and start doing everything by phone has been paying off.
I'm not always going to be one, but if there's a real diplomatic path and we continue to explore it, Steve and Jared are working on that very hard. If there is one there, it could be one that leads them to reconstruction, to prosperity, and to stability, and to not posing a threat to the world. The alternative is growing isolation, economic collapse, and ultimately total defeat.
The main problem White House officials are having with these talks is that if they make a deal with one faction claiming to be in control of Iran, it's possible some other faction rejects it and keeps fighting or keeps trying to develop a nuclear weapon. A separate piece of the puzzle, helping protesters in Iran fight back against heavy-handed regime forces, if necessary, with guns provided by the U.S.
Do you plan to arm them soon?
Well, I don't want to say that, but yeah, I mean, people say, why aren't they protesting? They want to protest, but they don't have any guns. So you could have 200,000 people protesting and have 5 or 6 sick people with guns, and when they start shooting them right between the eyes.
It's unclear right now how many of these regime leaders who ordered the murder of innocent protesters before Epic Fury are still in place and how many are dead. But President Trump is obviously worried about something like that happening again. That is what they are trying to avoid. Bill.
Okay, Peter, thank you. Back in touch with you, of course, throughout the day. Dana.
Colonel Mike Jernigan, former Iraqi invasion commander, great to have you here. There was also Rubio having this message to Iran. This was from his White House briefing yesterday.
The message to Iran, these guys are facing, they are facing real catastrophic destruction to their economy, generational destruction to their economy, generational destruction to the wealth of their country, imposed on themselves by the actions that they're taking. They should check themselves before they wreck themselves in the direction that they're going.
All right, with the way to rhyme it out there, what do you think the Iranians are thinking this morning? They might be realizing what Rubio is saying and thinking, well, if we just agree to this one pager, that maybe we can live to fight another day?
Yeah, good morning, Dana. Bill, that's a great question. And I think the Iranian collective mind is split right now. I think you have the IRGC that is furiously trying to remain control because it's the military arm and the oppressive arm against its own people. But also, I think that the guys that really have the degrees in economics and understand that they're going to have to pay for all these factories and bridges and things that have been destroyed, I think they're hoping for two things. One, the end of this so they can get their economy back and start making their revenue and their income again. But also, I think at the back of their mind, there's a hope that they remember the graciousness of the United States in defeated enemies before. I give Japan and Germany as examples where we helped literally to rebuild their economy. And both of those countries today are world leaders.
There is something happening right now where the Iranian foreign minister is in Beijing, China. And we've heard a little bit about what the Chinese have said so far. But this could be a significant meeting, not just today, but in the next 9 days, I would say. Think about this, sir. If you're able to iron this out, it's a big if right now, as we have cautioned here. The inspectors who go back into Iran must include Americans. I don't know if that's ever happened before with the IAEA in Iran. What have you thought about that?
I absolutely think that we need Americans and other visible representative bodies, journalists, for one. We need a freedom of access. We need to be able to report what is seen and what is there. There is an Atomic Energy Commission that has been largely neutered for exactly your point, that they hand select certain people that perhaps are available for bribes from certain countries. I think China, to answer your other question, has the People's Republic of China has a unique position right now. The PRC is trying to gain influence. They have a lot over Iran as they buy about 80% of their shadow fleet oil. So the PRC has an enormous economic lever on Iran right now. The question is, how does PRC use it? Does it use it for its own benefit, or does it use it for the benefit of the world and helping end this conflict?
I want to also play for you from President Trump yesterday in regards to the ceasefire, because the United States, at his direction, has exercised this incredible restraint, and Iran keeps trying to poke them. So far, the ceasefire has held. Watch him here.
They've fired at U.S. ships several times in the last 24 hours. What do they need to do to violate the ceasefire?
Well, you'll find out, because I'll let you know. They know what to do, and they know what to do. They know what not to do. They fired them in little boats with pea shooters. The Navy is comprised of, they call them little boats. They're all gone. And they're fast, but they're not fast like a missile. A missile is slightly faster. They're all gone.
Sometimes when you're starting to try to see peace, the light at the end of the tunnel is when someone might make a miscalculation, especially on the Iranians' parts. Your thoughts as we finalize this segment today?
Absolutely. The Iranians have been making a lot of miscalculations, and right now they're trying to avoid some more. The Iranians have been violating the ceasefire for days and weeks. They fired on Kuwaiti outpost on the 24th of April. They shot at 4 ships. They pirated 2 ships. The ceasefire exists as a matter of convenience for the United States to give the Iranian government an off-ramp and a chance to work on this one-page document that we've heard about.
Colonel, thank you for your time. Mike Jernigan, we'll see where it goes today. Yesterday was something. We'll see if we can match that, okay?
At least you had everything from this video. What is your own opinion? Drop it in the comment section. Thank you for watching. For more news and updates like this, do not forget to follow me on this channel by hitting the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so that anytime I publish the next video, you will get notification. I really appreciate your time for watching. Bye for now.